Seawind's flagship, the 52-foot Seawind 1600 passage maker, has finally made its way to Australia. After a few weeks of launching and commissioning, it's finally ready for its first sea trials. So join us as we stretch its legs offshore and see why this boat has got considerable appeal to the globe-trotting cruiser. The Seawind 1600 passage maker is emerging as a very strong alternative for those wanting a serious offshore cruising catamaran with performance credentials. It has the longer, powerful raked bows, the superstructure aft with large tramps to minimise pounding, dagger boards for upwind height, and a powerful rig with longeron beam to allow an array of sails from a stayless bowsprit. However, completely unique to the 1600 is the lift-up rudders, reducing the total draft down to just 0.6 of a metre, allowing the boat to sneak up into creeks and estuaries to sit out bad weather. The sail drive is offset and positioned up the rocker to even allow the boat to sit on its own bottom in the sand. The passage maker features 100mm of extra width down the centre line of the keel and 450mm of greater length through the hull to allow more payload for cruisers, while it has a larger rig to compensate for the additional weight. Though it's not the lightest performance cruising cat on the market, the sail area to displacement ratio for working sail still fits on the performance end of the spectrum. Not to mention, it is at least $200,000 to $400,000 USD less than some of its performance competitors. And its fit-out quality is superior in many ways than some of its counterparts. So let's take a look inside. The galley is huge, with a massive U-shaped wraparound countertop, the 2 sinks, an organic waste chute, induction gas stovetop, and gas or convection microwave oven, 130 litres of upright refrigeration, and 110 litre top-loading freezer under the bench. This is adjacent a generous raised saloon dining area, complete with a beautiful saloon table that forms the size of a coffee table all the way to a guest bed. The forward-facing nav station has a space for an excellent array of navigation aids, and wide panoramic windows surround made from toughened glass, not perspex, while there is a large 43-inch TV and entertainment system built in. Down below on the starboard side, we have a larger than usual master cabin for a performance cat, partly due to the additional width through the hull, but also due to the fact that the dagger boards are housed inboard inside the cabinetry. And you wouldn't even notice them here. The master bed is generous in size, has fans located above out of sight, the windows and portholes alongside have hidden blinds, and the bed lifts for a fantastic storage space underneath, with drawers for daily use, plus wardrobes, vanity, and privacy sliding door. The master bathroom is spacious with a separate shower, toilet and vanity, with a washer and dryer installed. The guest cabin is unique again, with 2 separate single beds for kids or crew, or can convert to a large king bed with this infill. While the smaller forward cabin provides ample space for a guest or a teenager, with a midship bathroom that services both cabins. There is a huge amount of headroom through the entire boat. Stepping out from the saloon into the cockpit, you have this unique benefit of stepping up into a raised platform. This allows you to see over the coach roof, giving you 360-degree visibility around the entire boat, while there's a nice cockpit table and seating arrangement on the side. This in turn allows for 2 conveniently located storage lockers under the cockpit floor. Step up again into either one of the twin helms that also uniquely located semi-outboard. That is, it's not all the way out like, say, a Katana, and it's not all the way in like a traditional Seawind, but somewhere in the middle, where you can get out of the weather, but still have full visibility onto the sails and the forward deck. So it's time to raise some sails and sea trial the boat for the first time. Having had the boat shipped to Sydney, we've spent about 3 weeks commissioning the boat and putting it through An in-water quality assessment. This is one of the benefits of buying through a dealer, as this process often goes unnoticed, but helps set the boat up for future cruising with minimal inconvenience for the owner. I can't stress how important this is, along with a decent shakedown delivery before you go off cruising. We motor out into Sydney Harbour with the upgraded twin 80 horsepower Yanmar sail drives. These are mounted in engine rooms accessible nice and high from the deck level away from any wash, and separate from the inside living spaces. There's plenty of room for servicing and other accessories such as water makers. Under power cruising revs around 2200 RPM, we're sitting on 9 knots or so with ease. We make sure the dagger boards are down by winching down on this N-tail sidewinder. What is neat about these dagger boards, they're stealthily hidden under the deck to reduce windage and hazards for sheets to wrap around. We raise the mainsail from the central master electric winch. The 2-speed Harken winch can help raise the mainsail quickly. The helmsman can also control this winch from the flick of a button at the helm. Once the square top mainsail is in place, we bear away. Now the main sheet system is pretty unique too, running twin mains with no traveller. So you can triangulate the position of the clew with the assistance of the boom preventer that we sheet down to these pad eyes on the deck and pull down the leech. There are 3 single-line reefing points also operated from the cockpit. When we're ready, we unfurl the jib from the master winch that again controls the jib trim. We tighten up the sheets and sail offshore into about 15 knots of true wind, sailing between 8 to 9 knots speed over ground at approximately 35 degrees apparent. That's pretty impressive. The jib is self-tacking, so tacking through is really easy. It's literally just a case of swinging the wheel over and walking to the opposite helm. So it's really easy to operate for one person. The boat handles through the chop beautifully with its big raked bows and a very smooth ride. Next, it's time to sail off the breeze. You have the option to use the furling screecher or the spinnaker if running deep. We wanted to check that the sock was set up correctly, so we opted for the kite. The spinnaker runs from a tack line off the bowsprit, but you could equally run a furling code D or similar if you preferred the convenience. After some persistence, we get the kite sorted and we are flying. Sitting on between 10 to 11 knots, comfortably running pretty deep. The forward decks are flat with nice big deep storage lockers forward for the sails, plus access to the genset, water tanks and storage for fenders and toys. There is even a dedicated cradle for the anchor bridle. In summary, the Seawind 1600 Passage Maker is truly a unique package that gives you options. The option to explore shallow areas, for example, or the option to sail with upwind performance, the option to cross oceans, and the option to live aboard in absolute comfort, at a price that's considerably less than its counterparts. For a full information pack, including pricing, click here. For other test sail videos, click here.